So I hate making speeches, but I really love to be the center of attention, so it's kind of weird right now. First, I want to thank the Camera Nap Band for playing tonight. Jim, this is Jimmy, right here. And then right over there would be Jim, but I like to call him Jim's dad. And then over in that corner is Nunzi. A lot of you guys know him, he's fantastic. And we literally asked them to do this, what? Yeah, chime in.
2 days ago?
Something like that, and they did it. So, and they're effing fantastic. There you go. All right, so thank you to Lynn and Christy for coming here early and doing all this, because even though I'm in a creative business, I could never imagine where and how to put up balloons. So, next thing is I'm gonna see how long it'll take before Bumper and Matthew start to heckle me. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so this is Jim on drums right here, and I asked him anytime I say something funny to give the cliche drum hit. And so now he doesn't know this speech, so I'm going to see how good he understands my humor, or in essence, read my mind for moments that I think are funny, so good luck. That was supposed to be fun. You're on it, you're almost there. If we're not rehearsing, we're doing pretty good. And I'll take my hat off. Alright, I'll put my hat back on. And my Atari T. I came well prepared for this. Even though my dad, it looks like he's already ready for a cruise to the Caribbean right now. Yes! Alright, so I wrote this all last night and today, so I hope you guys like it, and I hope especially that he likes it. And if it's funny, it's funny. If it falls on dead ears, it falls on dead ears. If you weep a little bit, that's good too. There's tissue. The bartender has napkins, which could be also used as tissues. So most of you know me, but for those who don't, I'm Mark Dennebaum Jr. And in the past few years, it was decided that I had to be Junior because when a certain someone with the same name as me Googled themselves, they found a lot of hits pertaining to Mark Dennebaum. Some nefarious, some flattering, some that were outright ridiculous, and some that no one should see. But unfortunately, there was a grander disappointment because that certain someone was my father, and none of these Google hits pertained to him. So this evening, it's all about you, sir. So, like everything that we do, just like asking these guys 2 days ago to do this, and the party was not last minute, but it was kind of like hectic to put together, and Christy and Bumper and Uncle Paul and Matthew did a great job, and you know, all we were messengers on my end with me and my sister. So I did get the band, so I'll take credit for that. I was putting off trying to come up with a good lie to get him here tonight under the guise of surprise. So in doing so, I realized that I have to make it seem like something that I would do, which is wait until the last minute. So I waited until last night to create my ruse, going over in my head again and again, thinking of scenarios that he would find believable. But I couldn't land on one that I thought he would fall for, so I decided to wing it. My sister was not very happy about me winging it. So we're sitting at dinner last night, and I finally vomited out, I'm getting a humanitarian award at the Hilton tomorrow night, and if you don't go, the people holding the event will be very pissed at me. To my horror, that was the excuse that came out of my mouth. And my father, without batting an eye, was so proud and excited, and he said, I will absolutely be there. In my mind, I said, awesome, great, mission accomplished. I was in the clear until... Now, a lot of you know my mother. Or if you don't know her, I'm sure you've heard about her in some violent form or fashion. Mom, you bleed blue and I love you. Now, as those of you who know my mother, you pretty much know that she's a no bullshit, put you in your place kind of person. So my fear arose when, for some reason, my mother put on her best June Cleaver impression and was just as excited and supportive as my father was. Oh my God, that's so great. Where is it? What time? What organization is giving you this?
I'm a good actress.
Yeah, but it wasn't believable. Yes! So I just went from being complicit in a cover-up to an Outer Limits episode in one fleeting moment. Who is this woman and what did you do with my mother? She's going to blow the whole thing, ironically, out of kindness. So I had to put my best acting hat on and brush it off. It's not a big deal, please don't take your friends or gloat. What are the specials here at Russell's tonight? Just like that, my family, or any good pack of ferrets, we were on to the next shiny thing. I tell you this not because of how surprised and wonderful it was to have my mother say something nice to me, which it was, don't get me wrong, but to illustrate the absolute devotion my father has to his children and his family. He believes in me, and that getting an accolade was believable to him. You can imagine his disappointment when he walked in here and found out that there was no award for me in his honor. But that goes to his character, his humble ability, and he is probably sitting here right now pissed off that we're celebrating him, but if anyone deserves it, it's you. Is this how Obama feels when he says something nice? Because this is pretty cool. Alright, on to my family again. My sister and I weren't exactly the models of perfection for children. I always have this feeling that if an alien race came down to observe normal human families and used us as their litmus test, they wouldn't just leave the planet, but leave our galaxy and get away as far as possible out of fear that this might be what it is. Nice joke. We ran both of my parents through the toughest of times and then some. We all made mistakes, and we made many. All of us along the way, and here we are, still a unit and still loving each other. But my father never doubted, he never swayed, he loved and fought for us whenever we needed it. He would even go as far as to come pick me up at high school whenever I had to go to the bathroom. For a man to take an hour out of his day because his son has public phobia, that's in the Urban Dictionary, it's real, look it up. It's the fear of going to the bathroom in public. It's these little ridiculous, idiosyncratic things like that amount to not a hill of good, but a mountain that reaches beyond our vision. When I decided to take a year off after high school, that eventually turned into 5, he was always supportive. In my sabbatical from life, I did work for Standard Ironworks. Well, I slept on my grandfather's couch in his office a lot. So frequented Standard Iron would be more accurate. So in my frequenting, whether he believes me right now or not, I learned so much about him as a man, as a father, and as a friend. When I was a kid, I remember resenting him for all the hours he put in the office and not the hours that he spent at home. There was a lot of misplaced anger and frustration in my early years because I didn't understand the complexities of the world or what it took to survive. Much like AJ from The Sopranos, minus the Nietzsche or the ZD. Nice. I lived in this bubble of woe is me, and it wasn't until I saw firsthand what responsibilities his job entailed that it finally brought everything into full perspective. He was the biggest cog in the wheel of his business. If he failed or didn't put in the extra time, the machine would shut down. It was then that I realized that my father was bigger than me, my family, or even himself. He wasn't just responsible to provide for my family, he had the responsibility of providing for everyone who works there and their families too. A concept that blew my mind, but put my father off of the pedestal of a man to the highest pedestal of a great man. He was selfless, and even in his perceived selfishness, it was never about the good of him, it was about the good of all. That to me is the mettle of a great leader, not just a man. I only wish that I could carry a fraction of that from him, and I will feel like I have even a modicum of success. I asked him once how he could put all of the frustration of his job and then come home to us. I told him I couldn't see how it was possible to do both and keep your sanity. He simply said, "Because I love you." Simple as that, no drawn-out explanation, just 4 little words that could fill a novel. He taught me about humility, he taught me about responsibility, He taught me about making the right decision no matter how bad it hurts. He taught me that no matter what happens in life, family is the most important thing. He taught me that it isn't all about me. Or wait, maybe my mother taught me that. I don't remember. He taught me the value of $1. He taught me that you can't spend what you don't have. He taught me to never have a credit card, which I still don't, and I have no credit. Thanks, Dad. But the most important thing he taught me was to follow my heart. And I'll carry this to my grave. He was driving me to Allentown to catch a flight back to Orlando after a break from school, and we were talking about the future and where I saw myself in the years to come. He asked me if what I'm doing now is what I wanted as a career, and like all things in life, I'm never 100% sure. So he looked at me, and it was right as you get off the Allentown exit, you get onto 22, and he said, there's no kids in here, right? Okay. My father's not a cusser to the likes that I am, or my sister am, or definitely that my mother is. So, this came as quite a surprise. He said, when you graduate, you're not coming to work for me, and if you don't follow what you're passionate about, I'll fucking kill you. These are the harshest words he has ever said to me. Up until last week when he said if my mother has to cut my grass, he will, and I quote, punch me in the fucking face. And he meant it both times. His belief in me and my fear of him going to jail for homicide has got me to where I am today. We're getting close to the end here, sir, so don't feel uncomfortable. The single biggest influences in my life have been my father and my grandfather. Because of my mother, my sister, and most importantly, my father, I'm doing what I love and trying to practice the principles that my father tries day in and day out to instill in me. And even just last night, he started trying to tell me how not to make an ass out of myself at my fake award ceremony. He's always there, constantly trying to make me a better person. And to Christy, Bumper, Matthew, my Uncle Paul, everyone at Standard Ironworks who is here tonight that helped him to help throw all this together. Mr. Ray Leneby for making sure the card club got the info, because I'm totally not reliable. Thank you for doing all that you can to make this occasion as special as we think it all deserves to be. Special thanks to all of his racing buddies here. You guys are all over the place. If he didn't have you, my mother would have even more cause to inquire about the purchasing of a handgun. And I'm sure you'll be seeing him now more than ever because now he has time to follow his passion. Dad, I don't need a Google search to realize the impact that you've had in my life. If my heart and mind were Google, you would be the only hit that comes up. Oh, stop it. But I want to leave you with a quote. Nothing prophetic from a scholar or a poet, but from a film, because obviously that's all I really know, and I live in a world that's not real. And the quote's from a 1989 science fiction film, which, coincidentally or not, I watched last night. This movie, according to my mother, stars my father's favorite angel, Cheryl Ladd. She's still hot, dude. Thanks. If you weren't here, I'd be in big trouble. The plot of this film, according to the Internet Movie Database, is an investigator seeking the cause of an airline disaster discovers the involvement of an organization of time travelers from a future Earth irreparably polluted who seek to rejuvenate the human race for those about to die in the past. It's a movie. Basically, it's a movie about what life is worth, or as best a B movie can explain it. But I remember watching this movie when I was around 10 years old, my mother and father, and it had an epilogue at the end that really resonated with me, even as a kid. Sherman, the robot, says, "It is not the end, it is not the beginning of the end, it is the end of the beginning." And with that, I celebrate, along with all of your friends and family and people who love you, to congratulate you in making it to the end of the beginning, and be careful of Mom. Thank you very much. Lynn has something to say. She's going to come up and read it, whatever Lynn is. Lynn, I got 2 words for you. Top that. I hired the band.